हेलो डॉक्टर अरोरा साहब, नमस्ते। हेलो। हेलो डॉक्टर संजय जी, नमस्ते। हेलो।
नमस्कार सर। अरोड़ा सर, अरोड़ा साहब की आवाज नहीं आ रही।
हाँ। हाँ डॉक्टर अरोरा साहब, एम आई ऑडिबल?
यस सर, यू आर ऑडिबल बट नॉट डॉक्टर अरोड़ा साहब।
यस। सो
हेलो।
Having the static used in the state. I'll be speaking on many similar statistics of our state as we progress while moderating this session. But
गुड मॉर्निंग सर। अब आ रही है आवाज?
अब आ रही है।
आ रही है।
अब आ रही है।
गुड मॉर्निंग अड्डा साहब।
गुड मॉर्निंग दिनेश पटेल।
गुड मॉर्निंग सर।
गुड मॉर्निंग।
डॉक्टर पारिक, मेरी आवाज
जी आ रही है।
आवाज आ रही है, आवाज
आ रही है आपकी आवाज आ रही सर।
गुड मॉर्निंग सर।
गुड मॉर्निंग।
गुड मॉर्निंग। गुड मॉर्निंग।
टिफिन लगे तो रुक ही नहीं रहे। मैं क्या है? हाँ,
गुड मॉर्निंग अरुणा साहब।
लास्ट एग्जाम दिए थे उसमें से 37 है
लास्ट वाला कब दिए थे? वो आप देखो जरा।
सर। दिए थे 11/2/2025 को। इसमें तो
तो गुड मॉर्निंग एवरीवन।
गुड
डॉक्टर अड्डा,
मॉर्निंग सर।
you can unshare your screen at present.
आपके वहां से कंट्रोल हो जाए ना ये। हेलो, हो जाएगी अनशेयर की यहीं से करनी पड़ेगी?
हो
मैंने
गई
कर
सर, हो
दिया।
गई।
हो गई? ओके
मैंने कर दी।
ओके।
Okay. Good morning and welcome to the webinar of ANRCM that is organized to celebrate the World Environment Day. First of all, I wish everyone a happy World Environment Day. And today's theme of the webinar is nature-based solutions for climate-smart agriculture for our future. So to start the webinar, I request our organizing secretary of this webinar and professor at Sher Kashmir University of Agriculture, Science and Technology, Jammu, Dr. P.K. Rai, to kindly propose welcome address. Dr. P.K. Rai.
Thank you, Dr. Arora साहब. Respected chairman, distinguished guest, esteemed speakers, respected convener, and dedicated organizing committee, and all valuable participants. Suprabhat. On behalf of the organizing committee, it gives me immense pleasure to extend a warm and heartfelt welcome to each one of you on this special occasion of World Environment Day. We are truly honored by the gracious presence of Dr. T.K. Srivastava, Chairman and Vice President ANRCM, and Principal Scientist ICR ISRI Lucknow, whose great guidance and vision continue to inspire us. We extend our sincere gratitude to our co-chair, Dr. Pooja Khare, Scientist Staff, CSIR CMAP, Lucknow, of honor for joining us and lending prestigious to this gathering. I also welcome Dr. Atul Kumar Singh, President ANRCM, and Dr. YP Singh, Senior Vice President ANRCM, and all executive member of ANRCM. A special welcome is accorded to our learned speakers, Dr. YP Ramani, Principal Scientist, Anand Agriculture University, Gujarat, Dr. Manoj Srivastava, Principal Scientist, Soil Science, IRI, New Delhi, Dr. M.S. Hadda, Retired Professor, Punjab Agriculture University, Ludhiana, Dr. Indu Chopra, Senior Scientist, Agriculture Chemistry, IRI, New Delhi, whose insight and expertise will enrich today's deliberations. We also acknowledge the tireless efforts of the convener, Dr. Sanjay Arora, and one of the organizing secretaries, Dr. N.K. Parikh, whose commitment has made this event possible. Finally, we warmly welcome all participants, researchers, academicians, and students whose active involvement will make this event meaningful and impactful. Together, let us engage in thoughtful discussion and reform our collective responsibility towards environment sustainability and a greener future. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. P.K. Rai, for the welcome address. So, respected Chairman of the session, Co-Chair Dr. Pooja Khare, Dr. T.K. Srivastava, sir, and Honorable Dr. V.P. Ramani, sir, Dr. Manjeet Singh Hadda, sir, and other Dr. Manoj Srivastava, other speakers, Dr. Indu Chopra. We are thankful to them for giving their consent. Just I want to brief about the ANRCM and today's activity. The academy is was established in 2019, and since then we are celebrating almost all the days related to our mandate. So World Environment Day is one of them, and we thought that this year the theme is also relevant to related to nature, climate change, as well as driving to the future. So this year we are organizing a webinar which will be having lectures from the experts, eminent personalities in the field, and apart from that, the participants will get the opportunity to participate in the quiz. We will be requesting the speakers to abide by the time and 20 minutes for the presentation and 5 minutes followed by the discussion. That will be good enough to apprise on the different themes. And as you are aware that June 5 is every day celebrated as World Environment Day. And this year the theme is inspired by nature for climate for our future. And the host country this year is the Republic of Azerbaijan, where global commemoration program is being taking place at Baku. And this is mainly to create awareness among not only the citizens of the nation, but also governments, NGOs, businessmen, as well as volunteers to take action to take action for mitigating the adversities of climate change in the future, and the following generation should get a clean and green environment. ANRCM is also dedicated for these kind of activities, that planting of trees or making the environment clean through different actions by the members will surely result in cleaner and greener environment. The significance of the theme can be achieved through recycling of the waste, proper use of the resources, and finding out the nature-based solutions for not only the agriculture but in other fields also. And I hope the presentations during this webinar will be taking you in in the similar direction. Dr. Manoj Srivastava, Dr. V.P. Ramani sir has vast experiences. Dr. M.S. Hadda and Dr. Indu Chopra will deliberate on different aspects related to soil, water, environment, and mitigate climate change will also be the center point. So I am thankful to all the members of the ANRCM as well as the eminent speakers and all the registered participants who have joined this webinar. After 3 lectures, we will be having the e-quiz and the results will be announced in the later part of the webinar. So be there and be attentive as most of the questions in the quiz will be related to the presentations made by the experts. So with this, I thank everyone and I request our chairman, Dr. T.K. Srivastava, to kindly inaugurate the webinar and deliver the inaugural address. Dr. T.K. Srivastava, sir, who is chairman of this webinar and vice president of ANRCM, presently principal scientist at Indian Sugarcane Research Institute, Lucknow. Dr. Srivastava, please.
Okay, Dr. Arora, good morning. Is it audible?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so thank you so much, Dr. Arora and the whole ANRCM for giving me this opportunity to be part of this very important program. And first of all, I would like to welcome all the speakers, Dr. V.P. Ramani Sahab, former principal, College of Agriculture, Anand Agriculture University, Dr. Manoj Srivastava ji, who is principal scientist in the Division of Environmental Science, IRI, New Delhi, Dr. M.S. Hadda sir from PIU, Ludhiana, and Dr. Indu Chopra, who is a senior scientist at IRI, New Delhi. All the participants, Dr. Arora, convener of this very important webinar, Dr. Pooja Khare, co-chair of this particular session, and the organizing secretary, Dr. P.K. Rai from Jammu and Dr. N.K. Parikh from Jobner. I welcome you all. Good morning. Jai Hind. It's very important and timely topic. That is, we are organizing a webinar on nature-based solutions for climate-smart agriculture for one future. Because we have only one earth. So we always talk about one earth, one health, one future. And the results of everything, whatever we do, whatever we perform in all the spheres of life, whether it is agriculture, whether it is industry, whether it is our day-to-day life, it is all going to come back to us in good way or in a bad way. Like in Gita, Bhagavan Lord Krishna told that avashyameva bhuktavyam krit karm shubhasubhe. Whatever good or bad actions we take, we have to pay for that. So we must be very careful whenever we are dealing with the nature, because we are all within the nature. We are not outside the nature. We are getting affected by nature, and nowadays we have started affecting the nature. So it is all our anthropogenic activities that is creating hurdles in our well-being, in our everyday good life, in our everyday happy life. And we agriculturists, we in fact hold greater responsibility to make our environment user friendly, living persons friendly, and friendly for all the organisms. As environment encompasses all the things, both the biosphere, lithosphere, hydrosphere, everything comes under the environment. And that is Khet Bachao Abhiyan. And before this, we were running a balanced fertilizer use Abhiyan. So we often go to the farmers and we tell the farmers that we have made our soils habitual of lot of added nutrients from outside in a chemical form. And that made our soils, in fact, inebriated. Soil has got inebriated, and now it requires more and more fertilizer, more and more chemicals to produce same amount of yield which we were getting earlier by putting less of it. So we have to make our soil more healthy, more quality, and more functional to harvest good reap, to reap a good harvest, and to make the farmers prosperous and to make our agriculture more viable and profitable. As we know that we are going to have lectures from very eminent speakers like Dr. Ramani, Dr. Srivastava, Hadda sir, and Dr. Chopra. And the all four lectures that I was just going through the topic, the titles of the topic. It covers in fact everything that is natural products, nature's way to affect the climate, and how we can, by playing with the climate friendly way, we can affect the nature, the very nature that affects whole human life, the life on the planet. So in the same way, Dr. Hadda Sahab is going to deliver a good lecture on flood management, water management, and what is the Punjab's experience. Some very good success stories or practical stories I think he is going to share with us. Then we have a lecture by Dr. Manoj Srivastava from IRI Division of Environmental Science, and that is to cover climate smart agriculture. What are the actions we are going to take under climate smart agriculture? How and why we need this, and how we are going to make our soils, our cropping very profitable, even by putting less inputs, even by putting less what you call expenditure on it. Then we have Dr. Indu Chopra's lecture, that is the natural or novel materials for remediation of polluted waters. That is a very interesting topic, I think, because we have played a lot with our water and soil, and now we need to go for its remediation, and that will be very effective. I'm really quite eager to listen all these four lectures. So I think with this, I declare the webinar open. I declare the webinar inaugurated, and I wish that the findings or the deliberations which we make during the course of this particular webinar, they will give at least one or two actionable points which we can publish in our journal, or we can publish in our what you call folders published by ANRCM for general public and for agriculturists both, so that we can make our environment very nature friendly, very human friendly, and very organism friendly. So with this, I will not stand more between you and the learned speakers, erudite speakers. So thank you so much for giving me this chance, and I wish a very fruitful results from this particular webinar. Thank you so much. Dr. Aurora, over to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your inaugural address and inaugurating the webinar. We are thankful to you for sparing your time. Now I request our organizing secretary, Dr. P.K. Rai, to kindly introduce and welcome the first speaker, Dr. V.P. Ramani, sir.
Thank you, sir. Dr. V.P. Ramani, sir, is former principal and scientist at College of Agriculture, Vaso, Anand Agriculture University, Gujarat. An agriculture expert, he's and a strong administrator, leadership, contributing to research, education, and sustainable agriculture development. And he's promoted effective human resource management for better farming outcomes. As per his professional career and experience, he had 34 years of professional career experience, and he was principal and unit head at the College of Agriculture, Anand Agriculture University, Vaso, from 21 to 23. He was Associate Director Research at Anand Agriculture University, Anand, from 2019 to 2021. Was Officer in Charge and APSRA, Anand Agriculture University, from 2006 to 2019 and 1989 to 2006. He has guided PhD scholars and PG students, 5 PhD and 12 PG scholar students. He has developed 45 technologies. He has presented 45 papers in a seminar and symposia, and he has published more than 70 papers, peer-reviewed journals, and 10 books in his favor. And he has delivered radio and TV talks, more than 50 popular articles he has written, and workshop, seminar, institute attended, he is more than 25. And as a charity recognition, he has 21 medals, awards, and honors in his name. Academic awards, 8 awards, and research awards, 13 research awards. He is also a life coach and mindset and personality mentor committed to the empowering individuals with tools for complete personal growth. With expertise in public speaking, confidence building, mindset transformation, he guide to live with purpose, resilience, and long-term happiness. So, with his vast experience, now I request Ramani sir, kindly deliver the talk, sir.
Okay, thank you for good words and good morning to all organizing committee members and participants. Thank you all. I have to share my slides. Okay, just anybody will help Arora ji? Why this is not?
Sir,
Arora sir?
You first open the PPT.
Yeah, I have already opened the PPT.
And then press the share button.
Yeah, I have done it.
Is there any message coming?
I do always, but today my laptop is different one. Screen. Just a minute, I will just a minute. Even this. This.
Dr. Arora,
Ji.
do you have Dr. Ramani's lecture? Can you share from your side?
No, he will share. Just wait 1 minute.
No, otherwise I will send you an email.
No, sir, just click on the share button if there is any message coming.
Yeah, this is my MacBook, so I think I have to go my laptop even. Share then screens and files and more.
Screen documents.
Screen document. Web.
You go to screen only. Then there will be PowerPoint application window.
Screen. Document restoration. Hello, Arora sir.
Yes, sir.
Please, you go for the next one. I will go for my another laptop, and I will do where I have the. I think you can invite the next one, so we will save the time. Is it possible to invite the next speaker?
Yes. Just we have to see whether Dr. Manoj is there.
Yeah, he is online, sir. He is online. He is
Okay,
he's
please.
available.
Yeah, meantime I will do. Please.
Dr.
I'm audible,
Manoj?
sir. I'm audible. Hello.
Yes. Dr. Manoj is there. Dr. PK Rai, sir.
Yeah,
Kindly
please.
introduce our
Sure.
learned speaker, Dr. Manoj Srivastava, sir,
Sure,
from IRI New Delhi.
And sir, whether I'm audible, just I want to ask.
Yes, you
Yeah,
are audible.
you are audible.
Okay.
You are audible.
You try to share your screen, sir, first.
Yeah. I'm also want to share this screen.
Yeah. Okay.
Check.
Okay, Dr. Arora. Now, we are very much fortunate that we have with us Dr. Manoj Srivastava. He is presently a principal scientist in Soil Science Division of Environmental Science, Nuclear NRL ICR, New Delhi. He is a fellow of NASA and ISSS. He visited Australia as an Endeavour Fellow at University of South Australia and also Fulbright Nehru Visiting Scholar at University of Texas at EIA Paso. He is internationally recognized for his research on soil biochemistry, environmental nanotechnology, heavy metal remediation in the soil plant continuum, and radioisotope techniques in agriculture. The field of his specialization is soil science and plant nutrition, environmental pollution, and remediation in environmental nanotechnology. He has published more than 150 research articles in journals of reputed and guided several PG and PhD students. So now I request Manoj Srivastava, sir, please.
My slides are visible, sir?
Yes, sir.
Slides are visible. Please make it full screen.
Okay, now it is there.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Very
I'm
good.
just want to see that whether it is moving or not. Sometime some
Yes, yes.
problem. It
Please
is
check.
moving.
Yes, moving.
Okay. So good morning to everyone. First of all, I would like to thank NRCM, Dr. T.K. Srivastava, Dr. Arora, and all the organizing committee for giving me this opportunity for presentation of this topic on climate smart agriculture for sustainable environment. And I would like to means thanks all the participants, all the my colleague who are presenting there for their support. Thank you very much. So my topic is climate smart agriculture for sustainable environment. So I would like to start with my presentation. You can see this, the gentleman, very famous Nobel scientist, multidisciplinary, Dr. Charles Robert Darwin. So when we talk about the climate change, one important quote I just want to quote here by the Charles Darwin. It is not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent that survive. It is the one of the most adaptable to change. So this is the key against all type of climate change, to get the adapted for the change. So this quote is told long back, more than 100 years back, but this quote is still valid for climate change scenario. So my topic is divided in four content, means that is general overview, climate change, then climate smart agriculture, and conclusions. So I will start with the introduction. Climate is the long-term atmospheric conditions, whereas weather varies constantly. Means that is the major difference between climate and weather. And change in climate are natural. Example, that last ice age around 11,005 years ago, global temperature were 5 degrees lower than what it is currently now. But we are now experiencing the temperature rises at unexpected, unprecedented speed, and mainly anthropogenic activities developed by human activities are responsible for this major climate change. So the basic climate change, if you talk about the major terminology which has been frequently used in this climate change, is greenhouse gases, infrared radiations, and greenhouse effects. So greenhouse gases mainly are carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, chlorofluorocarbons, tropospheric ozone. Where is carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide mainly related to the agriculture, then infrared radiation that has wavelength that is longer than the visible light but shorter than the radio waves. And greenhouse effect, which is infrared and greenhouse gas, these are the responsible for the greenhouse effect. It is increase of heat in a system where energy enters often as a light, is absorbed as a heat and released sometime later. So why climate change? There is various reasons, natural causes and man-made causes, as I told you. So natural causes, which is continuously happening, that they are the continental drift, volcanoes, the earth tilt, oceans currents, and but man-made, which is responsible for the frequent climate change of even means mainly after the industrial era, which is started around the 18th century. The industrial pollutions, burning of fossil fuel, deforestation, and of course agriculture is also one of the component which causes the climate change, which helps in the climate change. So there are basic things which is related to the climate change. The natural resource are diminishing, continuously ecosystems are compromised and biodiversity lost, and these causes the climate changing. So these if with these effects by man-made and natural cause, my focus will be on the mainly on agriculture, how agriculture is responsible, or how climate smart agriculture can helpful to cope up with this climate change. So before that, we should understand that it is everybody knows this greenhouse effect, how it occurs. So that solar radiation, which is passes through the clear atmosphere, and most of the radiation absorbed by the Earth's surface and warm it. And some of solar radiations are reflected by the Earth and the atmosphere, and some of the infrared radiation passes through the atmosphere, and some of is absorbed and emitted in all the direction by the greenhouse gases molecules. The effect of this form of Earth's surface and lower atmosphere. So infrared radiation, which is coming out from the Earth's surface, it is absorbed by the greenhouse gases, and which is mainly causes the warming of Earth. But which is essential, because greenhouse gas on atmosphere, we have mainly that water vapor, carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, and if there is no greenhouse gas, Earth average temperature would be around 18 degrees centigrade or about 0 degrees Fahrenheit. That's why it tells the importance of greenhouse gases. If you see the concentration of greenhouse gases in pre-industrial era, if you can see that 278 ppm, which is continuously increases. I will show in the next slide is how this CO2, CH4, and nitrous oxide is increasing and causing the global. One thing we should understand: greenhouse gas is important, but increasing in greenhouse gases by man-made or anthropogenic activities causing the warming of Earth, which is called the global warming. So every greenhouse gas, they are having the global warming potential, and these three gases which is responsible for coming from the mainly agricultural activities, carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide. If you compare a global warming potential with CO2 is considered as a reference global warming potential. So methane is 23 times higher, and nitrous oxide is 296 to somewhere it will return 310. So 296 to 310 times higher the global warming potential. But the tropospheric abundance, if you can see that, of course, this 385 is old data, but methane is 1.8 and nitrous oxide is 0.31 ppm. Important thing is that how they remain in the atmospheric lifetime. So CO2 span is 50 to 200 years, methane is 12 years, but nitrous oxide span is very high, means 114 years. So that's why the nitrous oxide is considered, though the ppm tropospheric abundance is less, but it is more dangerous than the global warming potential is more than the nitrous oxide and methane. So what is global warming? Global warming is when the Earth heats up and the temperature increases. Temperature have been rising, causing more dangerous for people, animal, plants, and environments. Humans are pumping more greenhouse gases into the atmosphere through the various anthropogenic activity. The atmosphere acts like a glass wall of greenhouse. Natural greenhouse gases help retain heat. Without them, temperature would be the 30 degrees centigrade lower. But man-made greenhouse gas emission rises up to 70% since 1970, meaning more heat trapped. So more heat trapped means more global warming or more climate change. So various driver, if you can see the climate change driver are CO2, nitrogen depositions, temperature, rainfall. These are the major drivers which causes the climate change, which is ultimately affect the plant productivity and the various land management practices like farming, public use, conservation. They are also fuel up this increase in various driver of climate change into the atmosphere. So if you can see that global greenhouse gases, so major is contribution is CO2 from the fossil fuel or CO2 from the forestry and other land use. Then after that methane, then nitrous oxide, and some two gases which is coming as a pollution. They are also causing the they serve as a greenhouse gases. So where contribution is coming, if you can see that agriculture is 13.5. Apart from energy supply, industry, and transport, they are the major contributor in case of greenhouse gas emissions. In particularly, if you can see the agriculture, so major nitrous oxide is coming from the soil because the fertilizer, nitrogenous fertilizer application, methane from the cattle, enteric fermentations, rice productions, then biomass burning, manure, fertilizer production. Even fertilizer production is responsible for producing. So they are equivalent. If you can see the CO2 equivalent, so nitrous oxide from the soil is the major contributor into the greenhouse gas emission. Now, I want to show you that how these concentration of various greenhouse gases is changing from 1960. You can take the base here. So you can see atmospheric CO2 increased from approximately 370 ppm in 1960 to 427 ppm in 2025. This represents an increase in more than 110 ppm over 65 years. The rate of increase accelerated after the 1960, reflecting the continued fossil fuel combustion, land use change, and industrial activity. Current CO2 concentration are highest observed in the least several 100,000 years based on the ice core record. So currently in the present scenario, this is 427 is the highest CO2 concentration in any time into the Earth's atmosphere. Then if you can see that global mean temperature anomaly means another driver of climate change is temperatures, how it is changing from 1960. So global mean temperature has increased roughly 1.2 degrees centigrade since mid 20th century. The warming rate accelerated after 1970, reaches approximately 0.2 to 0.21 degrees centigrade per decade. The year 2023, 24, and 25 ranks among the warmest year ever recorded globally. If you can see methane concentration, how it is getting changed. Atmospheric methane increased approximately 1260 ppb in 1960 to about 1945 ppb in 2025. Methane concentration rose rapidly during 1960 to 2000, showed a brief stabilization during 2000 to 2006. You can see here. Current methane concentration is approximately 2.5 times higher than the pre-industrial era, 720 ppb. And major anthropogenic sources included agriculture, especially rice cultivation, livestock, fossil fuel production, use of waste management, and biomass burning for the methane emission into the environment. Then another important, which is that nitrous oxide is, if you can see that nitrous oxide variation from 1960 to 2020. So it was 292 ppb in 1960, which is currently 340.5 ppb in 2025. The increase have been relatively steady over past 6 decades, largely driven by the agricultural nitrogen inputs, fertilizer use, manure management, and industrial activity. Nitrous oxide is the potent greenhouse gas with the global warming potential around 273 to 300 times greater than the CO2 on the mass basis. It is also most significant ozone depleting substance emitted in the 21st century. So what is the effect of this climate change or greenhouse gas emission? So the first important thing is difficult to anticipate. Productivity will increase in some area and decrease in some other areas, because if temperature is not increasing and CO2 is increasing, productivity will increase. Then rise in sea level will inundate floodplains and rivers valley. Effect on peat is unknown. Warmer temperature will decrease in soil moisture, requiring more irrigation. Location-wise, elevation and altitude where certain crops can be grown may have to change. So what, for keeping this thing in mind, climate action has been taken by various international body, and climate action generally fall into two strategies. One is mitigations, where effort of lower or remove greenhouse gases from the atmosphere, and adaptation efforts to help communities and ecosystem withstand with the impact of climate change. Of the two, mitigation has historically received more attention and investment. Meanwhile, finance for adaptation has lagged behind, putting communities at increasing risk from the storms, floods, fires, and other climate threats. This is the important conclusion from the IPCC assessment report in 2007 on the basis of how this climate change is affecting. So if you can see that warmer and fewer cold days and night over most land area is very likely, and in future virtually certain. Warmer, more frequent hot days, night over most land area very likely, in future virtually certain. Frequency of warm spells, heat waves increase over most of the land area is likely, and in future is very likely. Frequency of heat precipitation A heavy precipitation event increases over most of the land area is likely in future, very likely. Areas affected by the drought increases in many regions is likely, and in future also likely. Intense tropical cyclone activity increase in some regions is likely, and in future also likely. So probability class they have made on the likely for more than 66% probability, very likely more than 90%, and very virtually means virtually certain is 19 more than 99% probability to be occurrence. So that's why when we talk about climate change, their effect on agriculture, then climate smart agriculture comes into the picture. The global agricultural sector is major source of greenhouse gas emission, mainly from soil management, animal husbandry, and deforestation. There is need to change the way food is produced and distributed to address these two challenges. The term climate smart agriculture has been proposed by the FAO as a solution for the linked issue of climate change, food security, environmental sustainability, and economic feasibilities. So FAO describes CSA as a method that aims to increase agriculture productivity, enhance resilience, which is adaptation, and reduce GHG emissions mitigation to ensure food security and sustainability under changing climate conditions. So if you can see the concept of climate smart agriculture overall, which is depend upon productive, resilient, low emissions, and sustainability. So enhance productivity and income, use improved climate resilient variety, adopt good agricultural practices, precision farming, integrated soil fertility, efficient water management, diversity, crops, livestock, fisheries, and agroforestry, improve value additions, market access, and livelihood. So this is all part of reduction in reduce greenhouse gases emissions, remove carbon. So this is one of the important. These are one of the important mitigation strategies. Then building resilience, or another thing is that resilience with respect to cross-cutting policy and incentives, research and innovations, access to finance and credit, technology, digital tools, inclusive of gender-sensitive approach, strong institutions and partnerships. So reduce greenhouse gas emissions means remove carbon, which is very important practices. These are the conservation agriculture, where no-till residue management, improve organic matter in soil for soil carbon sequestration, alternate wetting and drying, especially in the rice cultivations, improve livestock management and feed efficiency, use of renewable energy and biogas, agroforestry and carbon sequestration. And outcome of these all building resilience, the food and nutrition security means outcome of climate smart agriculture is food and nutrition security, sustainable livelihoods, climate resilience and adaptation, low emissions, and environmental sustainability. So good governance, sustainable land water management, climate actions, and inclusive participation for the sustainable future is the major component of climate smart agriculture if we really want to cope up with the climate change. So climate change, climate smart innovation, which included now in the current scenario, right from the beginning, climate smart key enablers, which is artificial intelligence, climate information services, precision agriculture, high resilient crop, vertical farming, remote sensing and GIS application, and hydrological modeling. So these are the recently added module for the climate smart innovations. Now, I want to show you various climate smart agriculture practices, how their main action, what is their main action behind that, and how it helps to improving sustainability. So first thing is soil health management is the utmost importance by reduced tillage, mulching, and residue use, and it improves soil health, enhances carbon sequestration. Water and irrigation management, efficient water and fertilizer use of green manure. It cuts greenhouse gas emissions, improve water use. Agroforestry is an important component of CSA, the tree planting and farmland of natural regeneration, traditional modern practices. Tree store carbon dioxide, supports productivity and resilience. Crop diversification, including multiple crop reductions, selecting pest drought resistance varieties, ensure food security, reduce crop failure risk. Then livestock and feeding, important feeding improvements, zero open grazing reductions, better feed and forage systems, increasing animal productivity, lower methane emissions. Then adaptation strategies are water conservation and harvesting, weather warming systems, clean energy, post-harvest technologies, crop, livestock insurance, which builds resilience, improves incomes, reduce deforestation and climate risk. So various practices for soil carbon sequestrations. The major example, then agroforestry, as I told you, especially soil carbon sequestration increases organic matter through cover crops, crop residue, and reduce tillage and improve microbial activities. The observed benefit from these activities are improved soil structures and fertility, increased water retentions, add 0.3 to 0.8 ton carbon per hectare per year to soil by carbon stock, and effective in these carbon sequestration strategies mainly adopted in Northern America, Europe, croplands with the conservation tillages. Then agroforestry combines tree with the crop or livestock to expand system, boosts yields around 20-30%, enhance biodiversity, stabilize microclimate, and store 5 ton carbon per hectare per year. And it is a strong success in East Africa, South Asia, in India also, and Latin America. Then smart irrigation uses sensor, drone, or forecast model to optimize watering, save 35 to 50% water. Sorry. For water and 25% energy, stabilize yield under the drought, and it is adopted widely in the China, India, and arid US regions. Conservation tillage or no tillage reduces soil disturbance, leaving residue to protect soil surface, build soil organic carbon 0.3 to 0.8 ton carbon per hectares, reduces erosions, cut fuel loss uses, and suited for the temperate zones and rainfed systems. Then precision agriculture and sensing system use unmanned aerial vehicles, satellite or Internet of Things sensors for variable rate of fertilizers and irrigations, improve fertilizer efficiency 10 to 20%, increase yield 5 to 10%, and reduces nitrous oxide emissions. Effective in developed countries with digital infrastructures, drought tolerance varieties, genetic improvement for stress resistance, water use efficiency 5 to 20% higher yields in drought-prone areas, reduces crop failure risk. Widely tested in sub-Saharan Africa and South Asia. Biofertilizer and organic amendment, that is also a very important practices for climate-smart agriculture, replaces part of synthetic nitrogen with compost or microbial inoculant, cuts chemical input, nitrogen input by 20 to 30%, increase soil microbial biomass by 30%, and sequester 0.2 to 0.4 ton carbon per hectare per year, widely effective in Asia and Africa. So these are the various practices. And if you can see that which are the country involved with, so both developing and developed country continuously involving using climate smart agriculture, especially China, India. In developing country, they are the China, India, Ethiopia, Kenya, Ghana, Pakistan, Nigeria, South Africa, Mali, and Egypt. And developed country, Australia, Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, Netherlands, Spain, United Kingdom, United States. So these are the various adapted. They are adopting various climate smart agriculture practices, and they are improving their yield against the climate change scenario. So if you want to conclude, I want to conclude my talk with these statements. So we know that climate change is reality, it is happening. So CSA is an important approach to address climate change. The ultimate intention of CSA is to promote agricultural system that can adapt and withstand climate changes while maintaining productivity, environmental health, and economic sustainability. CSA includes sustainable practices that innovative technologies to diminish the carbon agriculture footprints to enhance its adaptability to climate-induced stressors. Furthermore, it utilizes climate resilience practices such as weather-based growing practices and more sustainable land use policies different from the traditional agricultural practices. Cost of adaptation and mitigation are unknown still, but likely to be high. But cost of inaction could be even higher. So we have to take proper action, adopt proper climate smart agricultural practices to cope up with the climate change which is happening currently. Thank you all for your kind attention. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. And you have discussed in detail the today's need of the hour, that is adoption of smart agriculture. So, is anybody have any query? Anyone want to ask anything about this presentation?
Hello.
Yes.
May I audible?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Good morning to all. First
Yes.
of all, I am congratulate to Dr. Manoj Srivastava, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, really, you have given very good lecture. My congratulations, and your lecture is very much important. So, if it possible, then please give the hard copy to the convener. So we will take care for your lecture.
I will give the soft copy, not hard copy. Soft copy
Okay.
I will share.
Sorry, sir. Soft copy. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank
Sure,
you very
sure.
much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Manoj sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
So now I request Dr. V.P. Ramani, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, so Dr. V.P. Ramani, sir, will deliver his talk on the nature's wisdom for climate action and healthy soil. So please, sir.
Yeah. So my screen is visible.
Yeah, visible, sir. Plus, give it in a slide mode, full screen, sir.
Okay.
Ramani sir,
Please.
I think you have one another system nearby you because your sound is becoming some echo.
No, I think maybe fan because of here we have the hot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. No problem.
So-
Please go ahead.
So now okay.
Yes, sir. Now it's okay. Just give this for full screen presentation, sir.
Yeah. No.
Right side, right lower side, sir.
Just a minute.
In your presentation, right lower side, sir.
Yeah. Our original one. Yes. Now is
Yes.
okay.
No, sir.
No.
Yeah, now it's okay, sir.
Yeah. Please. Okay.
Yeah.
So it is moving also.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So without any salutation, to save the time, directly on to the topic. So my topic is nature's wisdom for climate action and healthy soils, right? In the eve of the celebration of the World Environment Day, and the topic title is the nature-based solution for climate smart agriculture, and Dr. Manoj sir has already given detailed information with respect to the climate smart agriculture, right? So today just I'm going to speak wisdom of the nature. So how nature is going to help us, how nature is just going to help us. So if we see the background, then it is global call. Why global call for from the environment? As we have heard the lectures of the Dr. Manoj sir, then we observed that there is a lot of increase in the greenhouse gases with the time. So now the global call for us to review our all anthropogenic activities with respect to the climate resilience through nature-based solutions. So how nature-based solutions, how nature help us, how nature is going to take care of us, and where we have committed some mistakes to disturb the nature, and ultimately it is now in our core. So healthy soil as the foundation of sustainable development. Why healthy soil is the foundation for the sustainable development? Because all creatures on planet are dependent directly or indirectly on the motherland soil, because we have the food, fiber and all things from the motherland, that is soil only. So if our motherland soil is healthy, then we, or our what we call our nation, is always healthy. And the theme of the what we call the FAO or UN is inspired by nature for climate and for future. Inspired by nature. So I mean, nature is just going to inspire us how to deal with the nature, how to deal with the nature. And in that case, the soil is foundation for the all living body. Why soil matters? Because it produces our food, regulates water and nutrients in the soil, and that water and nutrients ultimately play a role into the good growth and development of the plant, supports biodiversity, if biodiversity is not maintained, then the chain of the biodiversity is not proper, then it will give the harm and act as a major carbon reservoir. As Dr. Manoj sir mentioned, there is a vast increase in the carbon dioxide, and it is the main greenhouse gases playing 65% role of the carbon dioxide only. And our motherland soil is the major part of the carbon reservoir. I can say the stock of the carbon is more than the air and vegetation into the soil. So if we do the carbon sequestration, or if we can store the carbon from the air to the soil, the greenhouse gases harmfulness is a little less, and it help us a lot. So in that case, although the soil is matter, what we call for us. The soil and climate connections. The soil stores more carbon, as I mentioned, than the atmosphere and vegetation. Soil degradation accelerates the greenhouse gases emissions. How? How soil degradation accelerates the greenhouse gases? If your soil is healthy, if your soil is up to the mark with respect to the physical, chemical, and biological properties, it will store the more carbon. Otherwise, the carbon will be decomposed and lost to the nature. Healthy soils improve climate resilience this way, storing the carbon, giving the good support and growth and development to the crop. And once your crop or I think anybody else, please. Hello. Okay, and how the healthy soils improve the climate resilience. Once soil is healthy, it will restore the more carbon, so reduce the CO2 particularly, that is greenhouse gases. Secondly, if your soil is healthy, then more and good vegetations are there, so further it will give the good climate conditions to the planet. Thirdly, if your soil is healthy, it will give the not only the food security, but it also provide the nutritional security to the human, and not only food security, so equally important. But we have some global challenges before us, and as a scientist, as a researchers, as an agriculturist, we have to keep in mind and we have to address all these challenges. Hello, I think Sonal Kumari, please.
Hello, Sonal Kumari, please mute the.
Please either you mute or mute your computer. Okay.
Dr. Sethi, please mute yourself. Ekta Chaudhary, please. Sonal Kumari, please mute yourself. Sonal Kumari.
So Dr. Saab, I think he or she is not there, and okay, now thank you. And another nodal cell is there also. Okay, so why these are the global challenges? We are the scientists, we are the researchers, we are the agriculturists.
सर आप म्यूट हो गए सर, रमानी सर आप म्यूट हो गए।
ओके साहब, किसी ने सबको म्यूट किया, उसमें मैं भी हो गया। ओके ओके ओके, to mute Sonal Kumari, I also muted. Okay, so these are the global challenges. I repeat, we are the scientists, we are the researchers, we are the agriculturists. We can address these all challenges, not policymakers or not politicians. So these challenges are in our bowl, these challenges are in our court. So land degradation. Land degradation is with respect to the two ways: geogenic activity, geogenic processes, and anthropogenic activities. So we have to give such a type of the policies or the practices or the package of practices or the recommendations, so our land or soil should be sustained or should be up to the mark. Soil erosion, we have to give us such a practices so soil erosion will be reduced with the agronomy, with the agroforestry, with the forestry, etc. Declining soil organic matter, it's a natural. Decomposition and reducing the organic matter is natural, but with such a practices, we can reduce the declination of the soil organic matter with two ways. First, with the addition of the organic matter, and secondly, creating such a practices so the loss of organic matter will not take place. Take an example, if we provide the cover to our motherland, that is soil in our practices, live cover or dead cover or mulching, etc. If we are just going to adopt the zero or no tillage practices, then also we can restore, we can conserve our soil organic matter. Biodiversity loss. Judicious use of the agrochemicals will help us to reduce the loss of the biodiversity, because the unjudicious use, sometimes very high rate and frequency of the addition of the pesticides, etc., will lead to the biodiversity, that is flora and fauna, as well as above the ground part also. And climate extremes, it is not directly in our hand. The climate extremes is not directly in our hand, but directly in our hand also. But we will take sometimes later on for this. Nature, the greatest teacher. So today's our topic is wisdom of the nature, inspired by the nature. So nature is the greatest teacher for us. How we have to understand our teacher, to follow the message of the nature, to have good health and good weather, good atmosphere, or anything on our planet. So first of all, diversity creates stability. Stability leads to the diversity, and diversity is maintained by the nature itself. We take the example of the China. I think you all have learned or hear about the China 4-pest, what we call the control. They have taken the what we call the one campaign to kill the sparrow, because sparrow was damaging the grain crops. So they have taken that campaign to kill the sparrow. But you see, they have almost all way eradicated sparrow from the China. Then what happens? The damage from the pest is increased like anything. Damage from the pest increased like anything to the grain crop, want of the lack of the sparrow in that China. So they realized then after. And further they have given the anti-sparrow, campaign, closed the anti-sparrow campaign, and they have started to have increased the birds, and particularly I also came to know that they have invited or imported the sparrow from the other countries or other region, right? So nature creates this stability. If we are just going to disturb the nature, then we have the disturbance. I think Srivastava sir in the opening remarks rightly said that in the with the quoting of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, कि भी हम कुछ डैमेज करेंगे तो वो भुगताना हमको ही पड़ेगा, हम कुछ गलत करेंगे तो वो हमारे वापस हमारे पास आएगा. तो this nature teaches us, because they create the stability. If we going to damage it, it will come to us, and that's why I will also quote this another quote from the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. It is मन एवं मनुष्याणाम. तो मनुष्य जो अपनी मन से ही कोई काम करते हैं तो वो उनको अच्छी तरह से करना चाहिए. That is anthropogenic activities, keeping in mind the nature, right? Second point is nothing is wasted in nature. Anything is not without any importance in nature. So we have to have use from the west to best. We have to apply our knowledge as an agriculturist, as a researcher, or as a scientist. So how can we do best from the west? Because anything is not untouched in the nature. Continuous cover protects the soil. So if you see the vegetation, if you see around without any sometimes any irrigation or watering, some wild crops or wild grasses are there to protect our motherland, to protect the soil. So it's what we call the gift of the nature. Biological cycles sustain productivity. We know for the productivity, we have to have the proper biological cycle in our agriculturist, meaning biological properties of the soil. So we have to have. Thus, friends, this nature is greatest teacher for us. So we have to follow. We have to understand the language of the nature. We have to understand the language of the nature how to behave with the nature. So first and utmost nature is forest. So learning from the forest ecosystem, why that soil is good. Of course, we are not removing anything from the forest. That's why the soil is good. The soil organic matter is there, soil organic carbon is there, and in our case, in agriculture or farming, we are just removing some parts in the form of the biomass from the soil from our field. That's why we cannot directly compare with the soil of the forest, but we can understand because of the permanent soil cover, the healthy soil is there. So either with the help of the live mulch or what we call the plastic mulch, or we have to try to have cover our land, our soil with permanent cover. Rich in organic matter, obviously active microbial communities. Why? Because of the soil organic carbon and soil organic matter, the active microbial communities are there in the soil, because the organic matter or organic carbon is the what we call the sheath or food of the all microbial or flora and fauna. And that's why efficient nutrients recycling. For the efficient nutrient recycling, we have to have the microbial population to our soil. And then it becomes the ecosystem, healthy ecosystem. Physical health, chemical balance, and biological activity must be up to the mark in the soil. And these all three are integrated functioning. So this all three cannot work or function separately. So these all are working with what we call the integration way. Soil biodiversity. We know earthworms is further the gift of the nature. During the school time or college time, the teacher was asking us with respect to the essay writing, the earthworm is foes or friends of the farmer, and we have the narrating in right way. It is good friends of the farmers. So we have to maintain the population of the earthworm in soil for the climate resilient agriculture or climate smart agriculture, because if we only think about ground part, then we will not reach to our destination, that is the smart agriculture or sustainable agriculture or food security and national security. Fungi and microorganisms, beneficial bacteria. We know as a scientist, as agriculturist, we know without bacteria, your addition of the any organic matter or a chemical fertilizer will not be available to the crop. Either FIM, organic nitrogen, urea, DAP, mineralized nitrogen or mineral nitrogen or chemical nitrogen, but without bacteria, it is not available to the crop. So soil biodiversity is important. Arthropods and flora and fauna. Soil organic carbon, as we discussed, it is very important with respect to the structure, enhances water retention, supplies the nutrients and sequestration carbon to reduce the greenhouse gases, and what we call the
Sir. Mani sir. Hello. Hello, Ramani sir. Hello. अड्डा सर मेरी आवाज आ रही है? सर आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही।
आने में हमें अभी आ गया बिकॉज ऑफ दी हाँ अभी मैं आ गया।
ओके
यस प्लीज एक मिनट
please,
आई हैव टू चेंज डिस्टर्ब यू लॉट टुडे।
No.
Yes, am I audible?
Yes sir.
Okay, so just
but screen is not reading, sir.
Yeah, screen, because it is gone because of the what we call the power supply, etc.
Okay.
So just it will I will resume. So I started.
Okay.
But what I mean to say, we have to learn from the nature a lot of things for the sustainable agriculture, and particularly with respect to the soil health, because the soil health is the what we call the solution for the all problems in agriculture, and not on agriculture, but for the healthy nation. Because if your soil is healthy, your plant is healthy, then good yield and nutritious produce is there. So, because of the nutritious produce, humans will the population will be healthy, and once population will be healthy, then nation will be healthy. So, just to understand the wisdom of the nature, so nature is our greatest teacher, and we have to follow the nature, and we have to understand the message of the nature, because my health is totally depends on the my soil. So sometimes I also say that the my soil is my doctor. My soil is my doctor. So thus, with respect to the today's topic, the inspired by nature, climate, and our future, we think that if we follow the nature's law, if we understand the what we call the nature's message, then we really do the or create the climate resilient practices, package of practices for the farmers, recommendations for the farmers. They are really supporting the nature, and our ethic is reverence towards the nature. That is, we conserve the nature, that nature will help us. So with this, I conclude my topic, the wisdom of the nature for the better and healthy soil, for betterment of the society, and betterment of the agriculture and sustainable agriculture. So as what we call our previous speaker has also mentioned that 65% carbon dioxides are there, and all greenhouse gases increase with the time. So if we follow the natural farming, so natural farming will lead us to reduce the chemical fertilizer application. Simultaneously, it increase the utility of the whatever the non-available pools are stored in the soil to make it free, that is in labile pool, for the availability of the crops, and thus the climate smart agriculture will be there, and that natural farming, the adaptation of the all practices will be there in case of the natural farming. So for sustainable agriculture, we have to opt minimum use of the agrochemicals and best possible use of the organic matter, and judicious use, that is timely application for our, as we all know, need not to discussion. And if we serve the nature, nature will serve us. With this, thank you all, and I take opportunity to thank you, our society, and particularly the president, vice president, and the active convener, Dr. Arora ji, to provide me an opportunity to share my views and ideas for the betterment of the what we call the sustainable agriculture. So thank you all. Please.
Thank you very much, sir. You have rightly said that we have to maintain our soil health so that we can take care of our future generation and well-being of human being. And after the nice presentation, is anybody have any query?
Please.
If anybody want to discuss anything to Ramani sir? Okay, sir.
Okay,
thank
please.
you very much, sir, for a nice presentation and your overview of the nature's wisdom.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir. And now I request Dr. M.S. Hadda, sir. Dr. Manjeet Singh Hadda is a retired professor of soil conservation, Department of Soils, PA Ludhiana. He has vast experience in the field of soil moisture conservation, erosion management, and rainwater harvesting. He is involved in teaching UG, PG students on soil. He has guided more than 12 masters and 2 PhD students for research on soil and water conservation. He has developed and calibrated runoff models for foothill regions involved in research on soil erosion productivity relations, participatory watershed management for productive water use and rainwater conservation for productivity enhancement. He was also involved in project on groundwater resource management to mitigate the impact of climate change in Punjab and Haryana. He has handled 5 externally funded projects and has published more than 80 research papers, 3 big book manuals, and contributed 24 book chapters. And life member of Soil Conservation Society and other professional societies. In view of his significant contribution in the field of soil and water conservation and management of foothills regions, Soil Conservation Society of India has awarded him with a gold medal award in the year 2015. With this vast experience, now I request Dr. Manjit Singh Hadar kindly deliver your talk on the water crisis to flood management in Punjab, a socio-technical framework for resilience against climate change and weather aberration. So, Hadar sir, please.
Thank you, Dr. Rai from SCOST and organizing secretary of today's technical session vis-a-vis the. So we are celebrating this World Environment Day on June 5th, 2026. So I am really provided with an opportunity by the ANRCM team. So for today's session, Chairman Dr. T.K. Srivastava, Co-Chair Dr. Pooja Khare, Convener Dr. Sanjay Arora, and Organizing Secretary Dr. P.K. Rai and Naveen Parekh, N.K. Parekh. So thank you very much. So I think I am audible. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And are you able to see the screen slide?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Definitely clear cut.
Thank you very much, because
yes, sir.
There was some problem. So this is the topic on which I would like to deliberate: the water crisis to flood management in Punjab. So basically, so I have tried to integrate both the component which we are suffering the state on a larger scale, and vis-a-vis the water crisis to the flood management. So I have tried to compile the relevant information, how it has set in the process with respect to the state of Punjab for the resilience against climate change and weather aberrations. Now there is some twin hazard groundwater depletion. It is mentioned here 164%. But there are some other reports which are showing 154 to 100. So there is some variability. Now there is a Preservation of Subsoil Water Act in 2009 addressed the demand side, but aquifer starvation persists. The critical need to bridge the demand side management with the supply side solutions, and the proposed response state framework, soil remediation, managed aquifer recharge, subsurface drip irrigation, and integrating with the policy. So as we all know why there was a need to adopt this monoculture. So it was started with the Green Revolution legacy rice wheat system boosted the food security, but ultimately it is training onto the water resources of the state. The soil physics insight by 1981, he identified that rice wheat rotations are really creating the troubles for the impaired soil water transmission compared to the traditional system. So based on this, the policy recognition and legislative response was introduced. In the year 2000, Hira and Kheda, they identified the unsustainable extraction in the state of Punjab. And there was an introduction of the Preservation of Subsoil Water Act in the year 2009, paddy transplantation aligned with the monsoon to reduce the irrigation demand. So it means this was really a torch bearer. The PAU played a key role to have the paddy transplantation aligned from the 20th June onward. In all the central districts of Punjab, we have a serious problem of these groundwater extraction, which is more than many times higher. So like, for example, if I speak to the Ludhiana region, we are reaching 350 meters down. So every year we have to lower our the submersible pumps to have that. Then 2009, the ERA advocated synchronizing crop calendars with the rainfall patterns, because during that time when we are planting it before June 20th, so there were all of it is being lost to the atmosphere through the evapotranspiration. Now, based on this, there is a precision irrigation and climate extremes, potentiometer-based soil moisture monitoring, optimized water use. So this was again proposal from the very farmer-friendly potentiometer was designed, and how to optimize the water use in the year 2004. And there are erratic heat waves, sudden floods, they intensify risk. Integrate the water-saving methods with the flood-resilient infrastructure for climate-smart agriculture. Now there is how this problem is setting that we all know annual totals. So I have tried to analyze last 2000 to 226 years of rainfall data, though I have not presented here the bar diagram that is indicating how the year it is varying. And in this year, there is emergence of climate pulses, approximately 12 to 12 high intensity rainstorm events, which are causing the erosion and the land degradation. Because of the serious problem of the confined aquifers, formation of the hard pan at 7.5 to 15 centimeter, or in some areas where we are continuously mining, it has reached to the level of 22 centimeters also. So as a result of climate pulses, we have to see that how to manage with high intensity rainstorm events. And there are 11 years in the 2000 to 226 years of gap. There were 11 years where we received below normal rainfall. Now the economic and agricultural impacts, so that we all know 51% of India's farmed area is rainfed. 47% of the population depends on agriculture. Because of the weak monsoon, reduced rural consumption that led to the higher food inflation, and external stressors, as we all know that we are going to get the fertilizer and energy supply risks linked to the West Asia conflict. This is the one part. And even I have chance to see the National Fertilizers Limited at Nangal, where they make the Kisan Khad or the urea, and they extract the capture the nitrogen from the atmosphere, mix it with it, and then they produce the urea. So ultimately, there is a lot of stress into the atmosphere also, and capturing for this building of the fertilizers, and ultimately the farmers are being applying into their lands or the soils to manage with the better crop yields. Now there is a hydrograph shifts also. High intensity pulses led to the sharp peak flows in the three, otherwise it's a land of 5 rivers: Satluj, Beas, Ravi, Chenab. And so these are the 5 rivers, but now we are confining only to the Satluj, Beas and Ravi basins, and runoff exceeds the recharge due to the low infiltration. So now there are two schools of thought. Some people are saying if we are following paddy weed continuously, it has helped in rebuilding the aquifers recharge. But as far as the science is concerned, if we look into that, if there is a formation of the heavy pan at 7.5 to 15 centimeter, or maybe up to 20 centimeters, that has really created a hard pan, and that doesn't allow the water to infiltrate into the lower profiles of the soil. So that has really created a havoc. So this has resulted in the soil dynamics and dual crisis, rice puddling, formation of plow pan, acts as a hydraulic seal that blocks the infiltration, heavy rain pulses, runoff dominates over the recharge. So ultimately, when we are receiving a very high intensity rainstorms, or if we are receiving only into the 3 to 4 rainstorms, which are really heavy over the monsoon period for June to September months, that really the aquifers remain starved despite the record rainfall, and surface flooding overwhelms drainage and embankments. Now there is a serious problem if you look into the northeastern tract of Punjab. In the 2025, when we received the large quantity of the floods, so they have given the reason attributed is that the overwhelming drainage and embankments was the serious problem, because the water courses, the canal river system of irrigation, which was designed earlier. Nobody has taken care to manage with those resources. Now the state government is really putting to the alarming level that requires the massive funds and massive inflow of money, maybe through the World Bank, maybe through the other ways. They have to think seriously to manage with the water courses and to give the water wherever we have the problem of the saline water in the southwestern districts of Punjab. However, in the northwestern tract of India, where we have the undulating topography, there we cannot reap the benefits of the green revolution. Because of the undulating topography, we cannot go for managing those kinds of systems. So there only we have a chance that how we can manage in the northeastern tracts of Punjab. So ultimately there are four parts, as the literature suggests: the pedological resilience, hydraulic engineering, that is managed aquifer recharge by abandoned bore wells, and filtration systems, agronomic efficiency, subsurface drip irrigation, straw mulching improves the water productivity, policy dimensions, filtration of networks, and interstate governance. Synthesis, water crisis, and flood management are one systemic challenge. So they are of the same coin. They are problem on the head and tail. So keeping into view how the review has helped in understanding the knowledge gap, siloed management of groundwater depletion, limited understanding of infiltration mechanics, and underutilization of 1.4 million abandoned bore wells, and lack of solutions for suspended solids clogging the aquifers. Now, keeping into this, we have the hypothesis and rationale, remediating the plow pen plus repurposing bore wells. Soil degradation is the root cause of drought and the flood vulnerability. Integrated framework can transition Punjab into a spawn state. So again, there is a protocols, and we will be concentrating on this side of soil pedology test, compactually, core continuity, bulk density, manage aquifer recharge, bore wells repurposing, sedimentation filtration system, precision irrigation with the subsurface drip irrigation, straw mulching, hydraulic modeling, river system deterioration, and flood vulnerability. So ultimate goal is to develop an integrated resilience framework for the water. So the objectives through this are to address the subsurface compaction, implement manage aquifer recharge, enhance demand side efficiency by subsurface drip irrigation and residue management, access macro hydraulic deterioration of river systems, and develop unified resilience framework. Now, coming to the methodology, all the 4 points which I have highlighted. So we have to look for the multidisciplinary socio-technical design to address the groundwater depletion and flood vulnerability. 4 critical pillars are pedological analysis, aquifer recharge, hydraulic engineering of managed aquifer recharge, agronomic evaluation of precision irrigation, macro scale hydraulic assessment of the river system deterioration. And keeping into this view, we were able to gather the information from the different sites and data sources by the different departments, especially soil and water engineering by Rajan Agrawal and his team, Dr. Barad from the Department of Agronomy, and however, this Sangrur and Ropar, Sangrur, there is a high groundwater depletion, and Ropar, this is the flood prone fertile region. This is through the Punjab Water Resources and Development Authority, the information available through data, and integration of longitudinal meteorological data 2002-2025 grid field level trials. So this is the reference table, how we have used it. The all 4 types of investigation and how to compile the relevant information. So all it is through the latest publication by me and one of my master students, Tukkal and Agarwal. Agarwal is engineer, this 2023, Brad is an agronomist, and this macro hydraulic. So this is the prior to this, the convention which was held there, I submitted the souvenir article, how to manage with the flood. So this is again, the randomized block design was followed as the PAE research farm, conventional tillage plus straw, minimum tillage plus straw. And the straw application was at the rate of 6 tons per hectare. And we made the important observation, though I have not listed the other, we were able to penetration resistance also, bulk density, infiltration rate, and how to design the infiltration rate through the Kostyakov equation, means determining the intercept, the slope, and the fitting the slope steepness of that, the different parameters of the state time equation. So this is hydraulic, and this already I have elaborated that how through bore wells or twin chamber filtration technique. So bore, if you are able to look into the paper published by Agarwal and his team, so they have elaborated how the manage aquifer recharge by bore wells, and this is by the the Ajmer Singh Barar. He is serving at Department of Agronomy on a water management project and subsurface drip irrigation. This data I will share and evaluation of the water productivity. So macro hydraulic methodology. Now there are some part of this has been assigned to the IIT Rupert and IIT Roorkee also, where they have presented the information how to manage with the riverbed elevation and headwork capacity, longitudinal analysis of these three rivers and Harike and Firozpur headworks. So there they are designing that we have to remove all kinds of the weeds or all kinds of infestation with the grasses, and to manage with this where the carrying capacity has been reduced on a larger scale. That has to rework on this and clean those areas. So this again, the plow pen thesis, infiltration, it is able to, as we know the philosophy that it is going to reduce the macro force, increase the micro porosity, and ultimately lowering the hydraulic conductivity, restricting the recharge. And through the mechanical compaction, where we are following the paddy wheat as a monoculture, the bulk density have exceeded even 1.74 milligram per meter cube, megagram per meter cube, limiting the root elongation and vertical water flux. So there it doesn't provide the physical penetration of the roots, and ultimately the water uptake is restricted. So the remediation pathways are minimum tillage plus star retention. We have tried the four kinds of this thing through the minimum potential star retention, the minimum tillage with the star removed, the conventional tillage with the star retention, and the conventional tillage with the star removed. So out of this, the best performed is the minimum tillage plus star retention at the rate of straw was maintained 6 tons per hectare. That restores the pore continuity, improves infiltration, and supports the aquifer recharge. So this is the precision irrigation demand side efficiency. The ultimate benefits of this, which were accrued, is the water use is reduced by 14 to 31% in wheat and maize compared to the flood irrigation. There is another added impact of residue synergy that enhances the soil moisture retention and reduces the evaporation losses. Agro technique synergy, longer irrigation interval that ease the pressure on electricity grid and groundwater reserves. Water productivity focus, maximizing crop yield per unit of water ensures sustainable demand side management. So this I will show in the database also, and we have followed the statistical analysis ANOVA and man-control test for rainfall intensity trends. Now, rise with purling led to subsurface, that we already well understood all this story and how the integrated soil physical. So if you look at the bulk density, that is the conventional tillage with residue removed, and the RT means for residue retained. So here you will see that in the lower layers of the soil, compared to this, there is an increase in the bulk density, especially at the 7.5 to 15 centimeter. And hydraulic conductivity has also, though it has improved here, but if you look at the final infiltration, that is that is 4.7 in the conventional tillage with the residue retained, residue removed, 4.7 to 6.1, where we are maintaining the residue in the conventional tillage. So there is an improvement of, if you minus 6.1 minus 4. So that will be 1.4 centimeter is the improvement. And similarly here also, if you see 1.3 centimeter, then the soil moisture storage up to 100 centimeter, 180 centimeter soil profile. Again, it has improved too. If you look at this, if we compare this residue, the minimum tillage residue removed and minimum tillage residue retained, so this difference is approximately 3.8 centimeters. So this is ultimately we are able to get the benefits of the minimum tillage with the residue retention. So if we look into the infiltration dynamics, in the conventional tilled plots, infiltration rate is 0.22 centimeter per hour, whereas in the minimum tillage surface, retained residues improved the infiltration rate to 1.95 centimeter. So 886% improvement. So that you can simply see that how we add the residue retention onto the surface, and that is ultimately going to create the benefit in terms of sinking of the carbon sequestration slowly and steadily over a period of time. So that is going to work very well. Now, similarly, through our experiment, so we have seen how the infiltration rate, the pore continuity. If you look at the conventional tillage residue, removed 0.14, and if you see at the minimum tillage with the surface retention of the residue retained, so it is, if you minus this 0.72 minus 0.14, so that is approximately 0.5 or so, 0.55 pore continuity index. So if the pore continuity has improved, it means the infiltration of that or all the profile storage has been benefited. Now, if you see at the conventional residue removed 11.3, 15.1 minus 11.3, so that would be again coming to around about 3.8 of centimeters of water, which is more profile is able to store by the tillage and residue management practices. Now the macro hydraulics, the riverbed elevation and infiltration reduced hydraulic gradients. The Harike headwork capacity declined by 6.79 times and Firozpur 4.8 times. So this is not my data. This is some of the engineers they have reported, and which I presented in my souvenir article. And this data has been taken from that. It has been published in the newspaper, and that I will show you at the end of the references list. So this is the macro hydraulic deterioration of Punjab river systems and headworks. So similarly here, if you see the current slope means the prior to the 2025, the original design slope was 1.78 foot per mile. Now this has reduced to 1.62 foot per mile. Similarly, earlier it was 1.5 foot per mile it was designed, it was reduced. So this is after the devastating floods which happened in the year 2025. So that has been ultimately the capacity reduction is 1.2 times from Satluj River. Harike to Firozpur, it is 6.8 times. For the Firozpur headworks, this is 4.8 times. So the magnitude of reduction in the capacity is 1.2 to 4.8 times in the three rivers. Sorry, in the two rivers, Satluj River, but at the different places. For the Ravi River and major dams, no information was available. Then they have made some critical impact or observation. Bedload deposition was over 55 miles. Shear flood risk 32 miles. Operational failure due to siltation and 50 feet siltation due to this. So I was reading in the newspaper, there were a few days back, there was a report of the Bhakra Bias Management Board, Bhakra Nangal Dam. So that is tilting its position for the last many years when it was designed. Today, they have gone for the evaluation of this. So that is going to tilt if they are not going to take the specific into their mind how to remove the siltation load, how to maintain that every year. So the massive amount of funds and the policy decision has to be taken. All kinds of these states, maybe the Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, Himachal Pradesh, or even the policy planners at the central government, vis-a-vis with the state level of the government. So they have to coalesce together, work together, and identify that how to really improve upon the capacity of this. No doubt some substantial amount of work has been done by the state government to improve the water courses into the southwestern districts of Punjab to have the canal water irrigation possible. Now the MAR efficiency has dropped from 9.18 liters to the 1.2 liters. So almost 9 times reduction. And with the twin chamber system, it has been able to, this twin chamber system is designed by Rajan Agarwal and his team. Basically, this work was assigned to some of his MTech student, that is Parvinder Singh. So they have done later on carried on this work. Now they have maintained the stable the rate of the discharge, that is 3.4 liters per meter, is being maintained. That helps in recharging the bore wells or the other thing. Now, this is the work which I have compiled from the prior and stream 2024. The flood irrigation, you can see the water productivity 0.77. And if you apply the straw mulch, it has improved by 0.11 kg per meter cube with respect to the no mulch. And if you are using the subsurface drip irrigation with the no mulch, the value is 1.26. However, subsurface drip irrigation with the straw mulch at the rate of 6 tons per hectare, it has improved to 1.85. So if you compare the flood irrigation with the subsurface with this 0.77 to 1.85, you can see how many times it is approximately 3 to 4 times, I think maybe 20 times, where it has improved the water productivity. And yield has also increased from 4.82 to 6.12 tons per hectare. And water applied is also a reduction. So we are able to save upon the water 2.5 centimeter if you minus from this. So that will be approximately 21 centimeter of water. So 21 centimeter of water means 210 millimeter. And at Ludhiana, we are receiving approximately 750 to 800 millimeter. I think in the last year, we are receiving approximately on an average 700 millimeter of rainfall. So almost of that 210 millimeter we are able to save. So you can see how magnitude, in magnitude the reduction is possible. Now there could be, we are proposing a integrated socio-technical model, biological model, mechanical injection, economic efficiency, unified framework, where we can integrate all the components of soil physicists, soil and water engineers, agronomy, and it could be eye-opener for the policy planners and decision makers. That could be much beneficial. So again, the policy framework is shift from drainage philosophy. We are not to evacuate the water, but we are to retain the water and store and recharge where we have the excess rainfall in the summer monsoon months. So that can be harvested and collected at some point of time, maybe in the northeastern districts of part. And however, if we are feeling that, especially we have found in the winter season in the northeastern districts of Punjab means there is a deficiency of the chance of occurrence of the drought is about 55% in a month of the post monsoon season, means the October to March months. So this is how we can improve it. And the conclusions and recommendation: Punjab faces 12 crises: aquifer starvation, surface flooding, soil degradation, mandate soil remediation, convert abundant wells. Now there is a need to have a shared governance. All the beneficiary states, Haryana, Rajasthan, even sometimes the Himachal could also maybe benefited. So this is the regional groundwater stress and extraction. So the two states, if you examine Sangrur versus the Rupnagar, so we are getting the overexploited stage of extraction. So this district will come to the present chief minister of the state, 263.5%. Then the water table is declining at the rate of 1 meter per year. However, at Patiala, it is 0.8 meter per year. And whereas at Ludhiana, 0.6 meter. Whereas in the Rupnagar, it is in this. So these all Sangrur, Patiala and Ludhiana, they are overexploited. So this total is not of this 4. This is not an average of this. This is sum total of. Whereas I have shown in the very first slide 164%. And here it is indicating 156.36%. So this I have taken from the Punjab Water Resources Development Authority data, and at the Rupnagar it is stable, whereas state total it is declining. So we are on the one hand facing a water crisis in the central districts of Punjab, and however it is to be managed because of the alarming rates of high intensity rainstorms that we are receiving. Now the future vision will be we have to have fixed soil water climate nexus, scale up the MTSRT, means minimum today's surface residue retention, and subsurface drip irrigation, how to have the bore wells, abandoned wells into the, and invest in desalination and modernization of networks, demand supply nexus and policy innovation, and we have to have a proposed holistic model to absorb excess rainfall, recharge aquifer, balance demand and supply, and then infrastructure operations, 3 pillars of synthesis, biological one, mechanical injection, economic efficiency, saving water. So again, the water crisis and flood management are one systematic. So the acknowledgement. So I place on record the entire ANRCM and especially Dr. Sanjay Arora, principal scientist, who is taking pains in organizing such events from time to time, reminding the scientific society and community in generating the awareness. And this provided me an opportunity to share my views online for webinar Nature-Based Solutions for Climate Smart Agriculture for Our Future. And today we are celebrating the World Environment Day, June 5th. Thank you all for your patient hearing and regards for all. So that will really set in this tone and the ball rolling. At least the policy planners, the state governments, they have to keep thinking in their mind how the states could be benefited through the practical solutions based on the database, based on this thing. So that has to be done. And this is the references, though I have compiled and submitted the paper for the publication. Just I will share the last slide. This is it is not opening up. So the same title. So that is where I have submitted. Let's see what are the comments. And thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for detailed deliberation on the water crisis to flood management in response to the climate change and weather condition. So, if anybody want to ask anything about this, any query? So, thank you very much, sir.
Okay, welcome.
For sharing your experience and all the. So now I request Dr. Sanjay Arora for the Environment E-Quiz program.
First of all, I want to thank Dr. M.S. Vidya for.
Dr. Arora, you are not audible.
I am not getting the voice. So, for all the participants, this quiz is now will be open for 5 years. I get the link email to the registered participants as well as on the chat box. So please check out the quiz. It is for 5 minutes only. It is now open.
Dr. Arora, your voice is not clear.
Link for E-Quiz program already shared for 5 minutes. So who is ever joined, kindly complete this. Only registered participant can participate in that quiz program.
मेरी Dr. Rai, my voice.
Yeah, this time is okay.
Okay. So 5 minutes we are completing the quiz. Now participants please submit. We are closing and you will not be allowed to submit. Hurry up. 1 minute left. Just 10 seconds left. Please hurry up. Submit your quiz. There is no negative marking. Submit it, whatever you have done. Okay, now we are closing. No more response will be accepted. Okay, Dr. Rai, please continue.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Arora. We have just finished the quiz. Now I would like to invite Dr. Indu Chopra, ma'am. He is a senior scientist in agriculture chemistry in Division of Soil Science and Agriculture Chemistry, IARA, New Delhi. Her specialization is remediation, bioremediation of environmental contaminants from different environmental components, management of problem soils, phosphorus solubilization and mobilization in soil through microbial interventions. She has guided 3 PG and 2 PhD students. She is associated with the technology of PUSA SPG 1118 hydrogel certified by the ICR. She is the recipient of Young Women Scientist Award 2021 and many more awards in national and international conferences. Now, I request Dr. Indu Chopra ma'am to kindly deliver your talk on the novel material derived from the nature for remediation of polluted water. So, ma'am, please.
Thank you, sir. And very good afternoon to one and all. And I thank organizing committee ANRCM to kindly provide me this opportunity to deliver my work and little work that I have done in the field of decontamination of polluted water. So I'll be sharing my presentation. Sir, is it visible?
No, ma'am. Yeah, now visible.
So is it now in slide mode? I have
just given a full screen, ma'am.
And
yeah, now it's okay.
Is it moving, sir?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll be giving my talk on novel materials for remediation of polluted water. So the most important thing what we have learned since childhood, jal bin sab soon, jal bina jeevan nahi. So why do we consider it so biased? Because our survival, not only our survival, but the survival of Earth depends on water. We have all the activities that have been done or that are being done knowingly or unknowingly on this earth through the usage of water. But when we talk about the water scarcity that we are facing, because we all know that though we have the earth has lots of water, but only 0.02% is available for usage by life on earth, mainly human beings and animals. And this problem, this low availability has also been utilized by industries itself, and rapid industrialization has led to water pollution that is being seen now that even in 2024, Bangalore had seen the worst crisis of water shortage. And because of that, the hostels in that Bangalore were vacated because they didn't have water to supply. So now they are putting stricter implementation for water utilization. But yes, the water problem is there now. Now, we can
Manjul, mute. Please mute yourself.
We can see that how these water pollution is causing problem to everyone. How is this water pollution being caused? First of all, the most important thing. So there are various causes, majorly anthropogenic activities that are leading to water pollution, contamination of water sources, different sources. So include industrial effluents being released through various industries. There are named few only. Sludge Also untreated effluents, or because we don't prepare pesticides, but formulations are prepared in India. So the additives and other things that are being produced are released in water directly. And also mining activities, though the nature is also giving, is causing pollution, but that because nature itself balances everything, but we are the culprits that are causing problem of water pollution. I'm not, is it moving? Yes. So this was a report released, published in newspaper on November 24th. So we can see that area of 20 kilometer of Yamuna has been labeled as dead river because it is receiving dissolved oxygen plumates to, it has received having this dissolved oxygen plumates to 0. And also the BOD of downstreams of 18 major drains have spiked to 50 to 80 milligram per liter. Also, there are nitrate level rise in tube wells. Also in hand pumps, fecal coliforms have been reported, especially this was reported in Patna. So we can see the grave intensity of water pollution that has led to not only loss of our resources in terms of water, but also it is causing monetary burden on our industry, our government, on us also, because one or the other way we are facing the shortage of water, good water supply. Now, what are the culprits majorly? So one of them is heavy metals. So this pollution majorly, what I have listed again, there is some natural resource contamination, but that manages the environment, nature manages itself, and the load of pollution comes through anthropogenic activities leading to pollution of water as well as soil. Another, because these are Bureau of Standards, Indian standards has given some permissible limits of these heavy metals in all the sources of water. But we know that the limits have already crossed a lot. Beyond this limit, we have already crossed, even in drinking water. And not only heavy metals, we, because जैसे अभी सर ने बताया था, श्रीवास्तव सर ने भी, कि हम खेत बचाओ अभियान में जा रहे हैं, and there we got that the people who are staying near Yamuna, even in their waters, TDS is going more than 1,000. Though they are living only 500 meters away from this Yamuna, but the TDS has gone high. Even they have started reporting heavy metal contamination. Now, we don't take care what environment is, how environment is getting infected until unless it comes on us. So because these heavy metals are not degradable, so they are, once they are going to our body, even in soil, they will not getting degraded. So once added, they'll always be there, just they'll change oxidation states, but they metals will stay always in the environment. So what are the problems that are being caused? So it from nervous system to digestive system, skin inflammation depends on exposure, how much exposure a person has got, or how we are taking it or ingesting it. The way we get the metals, we are responding. And basically the Indian tropical conditions we have, so sometimes it expresses early, the otherwise symptoms are expressed lately. But हम अगर अपने मेडिकल सिस्टम की बात करें, so we look for one solution, but the next problems rise again, for which it takes lots of time to get the medicines or treatment. Another pollutant, another culprit of organic of this water is dyes and organic impurities. I've just listed few, not limited to this, but the basic, these reactive dyes now, because we need very colorful clothes, we need very colorful things, we need everything, because it's now because money involved in these things. Now we are getting it very easily. Everything is we are getting at one or the other place at very low cost. Ek jagah mehengi hai, dusri jagah we are getting the replica. Easily we are getting the things, but we also need colorful things. Even if I talk about ladies, we need colorful dresses. We should have variety of dresses. But these dyes are causing havoc in our life. They are responsible for neurological disorders. Even reproductive system is getting affected. This was for animals, even human beings, and even animals are getting affected. They are not able to reproduce, for which we are keeping the animals ki wo hame रिप्रोड्यूस करेंगे तो भी मतलब भैंस है तो बछड़ा चाहिए और दूध हमें लगातार चाहिए, बट वी आर exposing them to contaminants and they are also getting affected. Also the ecosystem is also affected. Food chain of the community is also getting affected because sunlight is not able to penetrate because of these contaminants, and there is algal bloom and other problems also. And not only these dyes and heavy metals, we have several contaminants that are coming to water through one or the other sources, and they are affecting human being as well as different environmental contaminants. So components are getting affected. So is there any solution if we will talk about the graveness of problems? So don't we have to look for solutions, because it's our collective responsibility to go for the treatment and look for the possible measures that can help us to clean our environment. So in 2010, UN declared it water and sanitation as SDG. And after that only, I think a few of industries came into bloom to ensure that many of the startups have come that we need to provide clean water, and we need to look for solutions to clean this, treat this wastewater that is being generated by different industries. And agriculture is major consumer of water, so we need to look for clean water for irrigation that is still dependent on freshwater resources. So, there are conventional techniques that electrochemical technologies, coagulation, flocculation, jisme different chemicals are being used to react chemically and collect and settle the contaminants and use the water. But there are non-conventional techniques that have been developed, include adsorption, microbial fuel cells, and now coming nanotechnology also. We are going for it. So what are the different techniques for contaminants that are there? So these include membrane process, coagulation, biological treatment method that is now being utilized on trying to getting utilized on a large scale. Majorly that we are, though there are so many processes, majorly we are focusing on adsorption and modification of different adsorbents for the removal of contaminants. So when we say about novel material, the first thing that comes into mind, those are adsorb. Till now, the industry is using activated carbon as adsorbent for the treatment of water because it has a large surface area, high porosity, adsorption capacity is good, and it is irrespective of contaminants, whether that's organic or inorganic, it will trap the material in contaminants and will clean the water. But the problem is naturally expensive because to create activated carbon, it takes energy resources, so it becomes difficult to manage in low cost. And another important thing, it requires regeneration, which is quite not possible being of small size, and it creates secondary waste. So this is why we are looking for options, what can be utilized. So there are nanomaterials. I would say one or the other way we are using these materials composites way, or we say nano materials of agro waste. We are using metal oxide composites, in which we are utilizing base of agricultural waste. So though these have been shown differently, but these are mixed in one or the other way. When we are using, why not this? Why not to enhance the property of one material by mixing with other? So these are just a highlight to show that these are the materials commonly being used. Then why adsorbents? What do we look for in adsorbent? They should have good surface area and porosity. Their conditions should be so general that we don't need to have much energy resources, and they can absorb the materials in a good capacity, so we can utilize these materials. Now, why are we going for these plant-derived materials? Because these are having, what is the property? Because these materials are having hydroxyl groups majorly, or carboxylic groups, that are making it possible to hold the materials, hold the contaminants, so it can be utilized as adsorbent. Now, how do we use this? That we modify the agricultural waste or these lignocellulosic materials for the removal of contaminants. I have written dye, but this is not limited to dye. Absorption of any of the contaminants is done through this, because the mechanism is same. So either it can be physical adsorption or it can be chemical bonding. So through this, the pollutants are attached to the surface, and the water is cleaned through this. So these are different agricultural methods, not limited to this. This is one of the references only. These are, besides this, even we have used rice husk and materials, but the limitation here comes only if it's a retrieval. If we are using it in smaller size, particle size I have mentioned here, but when we go for smaller sizes, the clogging of pores, if we are filtering, and if we are not filtering, then it needs to be we say centrifuged, because if we want clean water, it's not clean, because the size is so small of the materials that it also comes on the surface of water. So we need to look for the solution for that also. Now, important thing, when we are using these material, very importantly, it becomes to characterize these materials also, if we are able to utilize them as material, or are we consuming our energy, we are putting our inputs as just to go to waste. So these need to be characterized, and we have different characterization techniques that need to be utilized according to the material. Not all are required, but what we are using, accordingly we need to select what we desire, and how will the possible mechanism go through if we are using our materials for the remediation of polluted water. So we need to select the materials, because if we are using clay materials, then XRD and these techniques need to be done. We need to assess the functional groups, carbon change, then we need to go for NMR. Otherwise, because these techniques are also very costly, so we can't go for each and every technique to be assessed while doing the characterization. Then there are different adsorbents, and the mechanisms are different for these materials that I have given in brief. And it has all advantages and disadvantages of its own. So we need to look for options. That's why we are going for mixed things. So another part is nanomaterials, buzzword also, but having good potential, being very small size, and because of this, its surface area is enhanced, reactivity is enhanced if we do the modification of these materials, and because of these good mechanical properties and porosity, so these nanomaterials are being used for the remediation of polluted water. And this can be in the form of photocatalysts, nanomotors, membranes, nanosorbents, that earlier I told metal organic frameworks that are also in the form of nanomaterials itself. So brief about nanophotocatalysts like zero valent based metal ions, they can be utilized for the treatment of pollutants. As I said, pollutant mean any, not only to dye, not only to pesticide, but because we cannot cover each and everything, so we are limited. We are limited for one or the other material to be used. But yes, these can be utilized for dyes, for pesticides, for other contaminants, aromatics. We can use these materials. So what is the general mechanism? Because in the presence of energy resource or light, the valence band, the excitation occurs and the electrons go from valence band to conduction band. And that leads to degradation of organic pollutants in the form of breaking into intermediate products or complete breaking into CO2 and water. And that is then identified through LCMS or GC so as to know the degraded product. Sometimes what happens that the product that is formed after degradation, that is becomes more toxic as compared to the original. So that needs to be identified, that what is happening, what we are adding, we are not getting that, but getting degraded to a toxic compound that is leading to problem in different environmental components. Another is nanomembranes. Now, nanomembranes, these are carbon-based materials which are being dispersed in polymer matrix, and being nanomaterials and providing large surface area because of formation of membranes. So they are very good materials for amplified degradation of the contaminants, and it also has limitation of fouling. So the titanium oxide or zeolite are introduced to avoid the fouling of the materials to be utilized. So these are why we are using these nanomembranes. I already told they are providing good surface area, and also being small size, they will trap the material, the contaminants in very quick time. So this will lead to remediation of water. So in a quicker way as compared to other techniques that are being used, materials of larger size being used. These are some of the nanomembranes that have been produced. But the most important thing here, I would like to show that though these materials that I've shown are feasible, but not have come to the market on large scale, that is the major limitation of these materials. Another thing is biomaterials or biopolymers, so which are used from derived from natural resources like sea waste, we say, or agricultural waste, we say. We derive it from those sources. Now, what is the advantage? Because these are otherwise also getting disposed, so we are utilizing the resources and trying to make the economy as resource efficient. And because this material is largely available, so the cost is also reduced in producing these materials. So in the case, we have some materials, hydrophobic nanostructured wood membranes or polydopamine bacterial nanocellulose hybrid, but these are also still not available on large scale, though they have very good capacity to remove the contaminants, but still not on the commercial scale. When we talk about these biomaterials in our lab, we have prepared these materials. These are materials, we can say, composite beads, and we utilize the clay and agricultural waste, because I said them, if we reduce the size, then it comes on the layer of water, and it does not let water to come as clean because it has the small size material. So what we did, we entrapped those materials, and we used it for the remediation of wastewater. Though in the lab initially we did for simulated water, then on next stage when we were preparing for pot experiment, we used tap water, not distilled water there. At that time we used tap water, but yes, the dye solutions were prepared in the lab itself. So we use these materials, and we can see these dyes, because Congo red is an azo dye, and azo dye, reactive dyes and azo dyes are creating havoc, because they are, as I earlier said, that major product, the initial product that is not so toxic, though it's toxic but not so toxic, but its degraded product is more toxic. It becomes as methane, it converts into as methane, azomethane, that is more problematic and more toxic as compared to Congo red. So we tried to remediate, we use these beads for the remediation of dyes, their mixture also, and we got good results, almost more than 95%. You can see the color also. It could be removed from these beads, and what we got, that the beads broke. When we started the work, we loaded the material and it broke. So we worked on the stability of these beads, and different factors were standardized. And we found that when we used that composite, we loaded that composite more, then the calcium chloride and sodium alginate composition had also to be modified to get the better results. Now we are working on, because sodium alginate is costlier product, so we are working.
Can I speak to Mr. Manjeet Singh?
Do you want to have any conversation with him, or you can message, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Please continue.
So what we found that sodium alginate that is commercially available is quite costly. So we are looking for alternate sources that are cheaper, and also we have now started work on extraction of these materials through green synthesis from the aquatic waste. So we can reduce the price of these gelling materials, and ultimately the products that will be formed to remediate these pollutants. Then this is the result. We also tried this for heavy metal decontamination, and up to 60% the chromium could be removed using these materials. So crystal violet was removed by up to 99%, whereas chromium was removed by 60%. So another important, I told that we are mixing the materials now, not limited to a particular one. So another is microbe mediated bioremediation. Why is it important? Because microbes are using these contaminants as carbon source, and they are degrading them, they are transforming them or breaking them into small molecules, small non-toxic molecules, because ultimately they are converting it organic. I'm talking about organic contaminants to carbon dioxide, and they are being used not only for dyes but also metals, pharmaceutical substances, polyaromatic hydrocarbons, and other cosmetic में जो हमारा use होता है हम करते हैं. About radionuclides, BARC in 2000 initiated the microbe-led biodegradation of radionuclides, and bacterial strains were identified for the degradation of these radionuclides. Now, what is the mechanism? So they inhibited the enzyme function that induces reactive oxygen species. So where different heavy metals or polyaromatic hydrocarbons, they are degraded through microbes. This is for one only, but still the mechanism is not completely understood. But even we started doing HPLC analysis, what before and after we could get, but still we are also through LCMS, sorry, but still we could see the graph completely close peaks we could see, but it was very difficult to identify. But yes, the degradation was good through bioremediation, through micro-mediated remediation. Results were found to be good. So another thing is integrated plant-mediated remediation, where plants are grown at the place where the contamination is very high, but different parameters need to be assessed before utilizing any of the material, any of the plant for bioremediation, for the remediation of contaminants. But plants have been utilized for the treatment of water. So those who are interested, or anyone is coming for training, we'll be very happy to show that facility also. So these are also being used for the remediation of contaminants, and different steps need to be considered, because it's very easy to say that this material can be used, this can be used, but the hard work that goes for standardization of parameters for any product, that is very long. That's why even for if we say synthesis of any compound, synthesis of any production of any product, before going for commercialization, it takes very long time. So it's really very painstaking process that needs to be looked after before going for planning of any materials. So coming to the conclusion of my talk, I would like to say that water pollution is not a specific place issue, it's a global issue. And yes, we, the developing countries, are the one which are getting most affected, because we are constantly facing water shortages. We are errant now. Erratic climate is there now. We are facing the change of climate, and though we are not only contributor, but yes, we are the ones contributing for the climate change. Also, there is need to find sustainable materials, sustainable techniques that can be fabricated and utilized with accessible material that is easily available. And another most important thing, it should have large scale applicability, because though we have prepared so many materials, but they are not available till now for commercial scale. Another important thing to be kept in mind, that we should at least know what, for which material, for which contaminants are we trying to do the remediation. Because until unless we know its nature, we cannot go for contaminants. अंधा आंख बंद करके हम कह दें कि दुनिया खराब है और हमें बस करना है, क्या करना है, किस डायरेक्शन में करना है, that needs to be taken care of. And importantly, every material that is being produced needs to have a life cycle assessment, so as to know what we have prepared is really doing the work what we desired to happen. With this, I thank everyone. I thank my director and admin staff, and especially organizing committee ANRCM Lucknow for giving me the opportunity. I'm really grateful to share my knowledge, limited knowledge that I have. If it can help, I'm ready to share with one and all. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, ma'am. You have discussed in detail about the novel material derived from the nature for remediation of polluted water, और जो कि आज की आवश्यकता है मैम, और आपने बहुत अच्छी तरीके से इस चीज को बताया. नाउ आप पार्टिसिपेंट में से अगर कोई कुछ पूछना चाहता है मैम से, इफ एनीबॉडी वांट, तो इसके बाद सभी फ्री हो गए हैं. आप किसी में से कोई पूछना चाहता हो, कोई डिस्कस करना चाहता हो मैम से. मैम ने दूसरी चीजों को भी ऑफर किया है, ट्रेनिंग के लिए और अदर चीजों के लिए. अगर कोई इंटरेस्टेड हो तो जरूर कांटेक्ट करें मैम से. सो थैंक यू वेरी मच मैम. Thank you very much for sparing your valuable time for delivering this talk.
Thank you, sir.
Now I request Dr. Pooja Khare ma'am, the co-chairman and principal scientist of CSI CMAP, for her concluding remarks. Pooja Khare ma'am. Dr. Pooja Khare ma'am, principal scientist CSIS CMAP, Lucknow. I request you to kindly give your concluding remarks. Maybe before that, Dr. Sanjay Arora will declare the result of the quiz. In between, if anybody want to share his or her experience to the participant, most welcome. Dr. Parik.
Yes, sir.
Before Dr. Parik propose vote of thanks, I wish to declare the results of the today's quiz.
Yes.
Just a minute. So, total 21 participants have attempted the quiz, and it was of 30 marks, and Mr. Ajay Kumawat got 30 out of 30. So, and Sahil Singh got 29. Arshleen Kaur got 29 out of 30. Noor Fatima also got 29 out of 30. Dalia also got 29 out of 30. And these are the second position. And the third position is Anjali Sharma, 28 out of 30. Shivalika Kapoor, 28 out of 30. And Dr. Keshav Mehra, 28 out of 30. So these are the first, second, third positions. We will be sending the certificates of quiz only for their respective positions, and the remaining part, those who have got more than 75% marks will be given the appreciation certificate. Among them are Akriti Ramola, Shubham Singh, Arun, Suhana Sharma, Akshita Bali, and Vanishka Manhas. They will be getting the appreciation certificate. So within a week's time, we will provide the certificates on their respective email IDs. Thank you. Congratulations to all the winners, and thank you for participating in the quiz.
Sir, I also got 70%. Won't I get the certificate?
Please repeat
Hello?
what you are saying.
Sir, I am saying that I also got 70% marks. I mean 21 out of 30. So won't
Yeah,
I
you
get the
got
appreciation certificate?
21 out of 30. So we have put
Yes,
the
sir.
cutoff as 75%. So I think it is 70.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay, sir.
thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
I would like to have few remarks about the presentation, please.
Okay, Dr. Arjun, please.
Sir, I have been working on the remediation of pesticide previously in previous institute. So we happen to develop so many remediation techniques in our country, but what some group needs to do is to develop some of the sensors which can detect early instances of contamination. I'm talking about indicators, development of some kind of indicators. It can be a biological, or it can be some biological indicators can be identified, and then the engineering group can take it into some kind of biosensors. I have got few experience on working on linden contaminated site, where I have identified some of the bacterial groups
as well as the enzymes, which can, if modified or taken into some kind of sensors, can help us to identify early instances of contaminations. If that is possible, then definitely the remediation group can act upon it quickly and provide some kind of solutions for future uses. That's my submission for the whole presentation which was taking place. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you for your comments, Dr. Arjun. Any other to have his concluding comments on the today's theme or his viewpoints on conserving environment? So, if not, then I request Dr. N.K. Parekh to please propose vote of thanks so that we can close the meeting. Dr. Parekh, please.
Thank you, Dr. Arora. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Thank you. Respected Chairman, Co-Chair, distinguished speakers, esteemed guests, organizing committee members, participants, ladies and gentlemen. On the behalf of Academy of Natural Resource Conservation and Management, Lucknow, it is my privilege and honor to propose the vote of thanks for this enlightening webinar on nature-based solution for climate-smart agriculture for our future, organized in celebration of World Environment Day 2026. First and foremost, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to all our eminent speakers for sharing their valuable knowledge, experiences, and insights. I extend heartfelt thanks to Dr. V.P. Ramani sir from Gujarat, Dr. Manoj Srivastav sir from IRI New Delhi, Dr. Ahmed Hada sir from PU Ludhiana, and Dr. Indu Chopra madam from again IRI New Delhi. Your expert insights and practical approaches have definitely enriched our understanding of sustainable practices to address some of the most pressing environmental challenges of our time. We are fortunate to have leaders and scientists like Dr. T.K. Srivastav sir from ISRI Lucknow, at present working as Vice President ANRCM, and today he is acting as the chairman of this event. And Dr. Pooja Khare ma'am from CMAP Lucknow, present today. She is acting as co-chair of this webinar for their enthusiastic involvement, thoughtful guidance, and dedicated efforts throughout the planning and execution of this program. Their efforts have helped make this World Environment Day celebration both meaningful and impactful. A special thanks to Dr. Sanjay Arora, Secretary of Academy, as well as convener of this webinar, for untiring efforts, excellent coordination, and attention, which ensured the smooth and successful conduct of today's program. His commitment and enthusiasm were key factors in making this event both informative and impactful. We sincerely appreciate his valuable contribution. It will be my big mistake if I would like to forget the contribution to mention from Dr. A.K. Singh, President of ANRCM, though he may be absent today due to some unavoidable reasons, but his inspiring leadership, valuable guidance, and unwavering support, we are deeply grateful for his encouragement and blessing in making this program a success. My sincere thanks are also due to my colleague and organizing secretary, Dr. P.K. Rai from SCASH Jammu, whose meticulous planning, coordination, and hard work ensured the smooth conduct of this webinar. I would also like to thank all participants from various institutions and organizations across the country. Your active participation, thoughtful questions, and enthusiastic engagement have made this event truly meaningful and interactive. A special appreciation goes to the technical team and support staff for managing this online platform seamlessly and ensuring a successful virtual experience for everyone. As we celebrate World Environment Day, today's discussions have reinforced the importance of integrating nature-based solutions into agriculture and environmental management practices for a sustainable and climate-resilient future. With these words, I once again thank all our speakers, organizers, participants, and supporters for their valuable contribution. Thank you all. Wishing everyone good health, success, and a greener future. Jai Hind.
Thank you all.
you, sir. Thank you.
Dr. Arora, you are not audible. We are not getting your voice, Dr. Arora.
वो नमस्कार करना चाह रहे हैं. Thank you, Doctor.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
वीडियो कैमरा काम नहीं कर रहा. Some problem. Video camera is not working for Dr. Majid Hadda.